Today, me and Caleb are going to be ranking every Legend of Zelda game, starting from the first game all the way up to Skyward Sword HD, the latest release in the series. Let's get into it. Alright everybody, we got Caleb here. We're going to be ranking every Zelda game. There are a couple things on here, Caleb, that I don't think we will rank, probably. Ancient Stone Tablets and BS Legend of Zelda. I actually have played those a little bit, but not enough to rank them, so we will be doing mostly mainline games. We do have remakes on here, so in the case of those, if we've played them, we'll rank them. I've played every game on this list, with the exception of, like, the Four Sword stuff and the Oracle games, and then the biggest one I have not played is Twilight Princess. Otherwise, I've played everything. How about you?
I've played most of the stuff. I haven't played Oracle of Ages, or Spirit Tracks, or Four Swords Adventures.
Okay. And I should say, like, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, it's been so long since I played them that I might not have a ton to say about them. But that said, Caleb, let's get started. Legend of Zelda 1.
I think this is definitely going to be on the lower end of the spectrum.
I think it's on the lower end. See, here's the thing. I actually like Legend of Zelda a lot. I enjoy replaying this game. I don't think it's D rank.
There's worse games.
There is worse games. There's at least one worse game.
There is worse game.
There is worse game than this. I don't think we're talking about the same one. But
probably not.
Legend of Zelda 1, I mean, it's I don't think it holds up quite as much as like Super Mario Bros. Or like Mega Man per se for NES games, but I still enjoy it when I play it. So for what it is, I would say it's a C rank game.
I would say it's probably, I would say keep it in C, but it's not going to be at the top of C. It's going to be like
I agree with that.
Mid C.
I definitely agree with that. Okay. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. So, and I should have said this a year ago. We did a tier list on a different channel. You can probably dig that up if you look around. This is probably going to be very different because I actually played a lot of them for the first time since then.
Yeah.
I remember in that tier list, we actually separated Zelda 2 by a whole tier. I don't know if I agree with that anymore. It's definitely better than Zelda 1. It has a lot more, like, cool dungeons and themes and bosses and items.
You just saying that is, like, gonna piss people off.
Oh, yeah, people hate Zelda 2. But I don't know if it's a whole tier better than Zelda 1. What do you think?
I think it is. I think it'd be in B tier.
Okay.
I like Zelda 2 a lot.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's one of the best NES games.
The only problem is that it's too hard.
Right.
That's literally.
And if you play it with restore points, oh boy, that's a good game.
if you play it with rewind, it's even better.
Oh yeah, dude, rewind in that game. And I know people like not to get on this whole debate of like, is it truly authentic to the experience? I don't care. I enjoyed it.
Play it the way you want. Like,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Adventure of Link, I definitely think is better than Zelda 1. And no disrespect to Zelda 1, I think they're both really good games. Yeah. You have to understand this is a Zelda tier list. The games in D rank, I think, are still pretty good. Probably, for the most part. We'll see. I just see your face, like, you're grimacing.
Well, look, I'm not... Obviously, I enjoy all these games. But, like, compared to, like, modern standards, I don't think the ones at D rank are going to hold up. They're not going to be, like, good games compared to, like, it's coming out now.
Yeah, what just happened? Whatever. I'm adding a new tier list, or new rank, because, I already foresee an issue that's about to happen.
Alright, go ahead.
A Link to the Past is a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. I actually did not like this game at all in the past, but then last year I played it for our old channel, and I kind of came around on it. I think it's a pretty competent 2D Zelda. Not without its issues. I think there are many 2D Zeldas better than this game. I think it's A tier. However, the reason I just added S+ tier is because I do think there are games that are significantly better than A Link to the Past.
Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's one of them. So yeah, what do you think about A Link to the Past being A tier? I know, once again, this is another thing where people are gonna get angry. Like, it should have been S tier or S+, but I don't have the nostalgia factor. Let's just say that right now. Nostalgia is a factor. It inevitably cannot not be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
I get that if you grew up with it, if you grew up with the SNES, you know, this was a revolutionary game for the time. Maybe. There are simply better 2D Zeldas now. So I put it in A tier. It's still good
now,
but
before I give you my opinion,
yep,
I will say, not to spread, you know, hate or anything about this game, but like, I've noticed that I've seen a lot of people say that Link to the Past is the best Zelda game, But I haven't seen anyone under the age of 25 say that. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's
So
fair. It is a generational thing. Makes
that's
you wonder
one way to put it.
yeah, it's a 2-generational thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, talk to me about the actual game. What do you like? Do you think A rank makes sense for this, or would you put it in B rank?
I would put it in B rank.
Ooh,
I think it's good. I don't think it's like a whole tier better than Adventure Link. In fact, I would say, yeah, obviously.
Obviously, I just put it there without.
Yeah. I personally prefer the gameplay of the Adventure of Link more. But as far as the actual content of the game goes, I would say Link to the Past is a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean,
There's more to it.
see, here's the thing with the NES. NES is very limited. The games are pretty limited. Even for NES standards, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 are pretty big games.
Mm-hmm.
SNES games actually got really big, especially with like JRPGs like Chrono Trigger and stuff. So like, A Link to the Past is impressive, but there are other games that definitely rival it in terms of like scale. But yeah, I think it's A tier. I'm gonna leave it there.
I'll say I would put it just above the Adventure of Link. Now, personally, the Adventure of Link is my favorite NES game. So,
Ooh, have you played Mega Man 2?
Yes.
I don't think you played Mega Man 2 or 3, Caleb. Those are the best NES games.
I played Mario 3 and Mega Man 2.
Okay, Mario 3 is not that good, so
that's another.
Yeah,
something else.
we already did the Mario tier. Let's go watch that if you want that hot take. So yeah, obviously it's two people doing this tier. We're gonna have different opinions. We're gonna try to do the median for both.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm taking precedence and I'm putting it in A tier.
I would say probably there's gonna be stuff higher than it in A tier.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Oh, Caleb, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. What came after Ocarina of Time? Or Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening is the fourth Zelda game.
Where is Link's Awakening? So because we have all the different versions.
There's
okay,
does it have all three versions? Or
it does.
Is it just a remake?
It does have all three versions.
I have played all three.
I've only beaten the Switch remake. I played like half of DX. So let's talk about 1993 Link's Awakening, Caleb. Where would you rank this?
I would put it in A tier, above Link to the Past.
I agree. Link's Awakening is a better game, even on the Game Boy. I agree. Yeah,
there's a couple weird things about it. Obviously, it doesn't have like the camera shop or anything like that, but it does have like a couple of the enemies look different. The bird, the owl statues are just tablets on the wall.
Yeah, and
the ending where you finish the game without dying. Instead of Marin turning into a seagull, she just has wings. It's just her sprite with wings on it.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little bit weird.
Okay, so I think we're just gonna do all three Link's Awakenings right now. Can I make a change here? I think, having not finished Link's Awakening original, I played like 2 dungeons of it. Would you be okay? Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this: do you think Link's Awakening DX is a tier above this?
No.
Okay. So, I don't. Yeah.
I would still put them at like the top of A though.
Oh, this is definitely we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, they're basically the same. This one just has color.
Mm-hmm. Now, and I also will say this. What I think is the best game as far as quality is concerned is not the same as what's my favorite.
Interesting.
It might sound weird, but
we'll see. I'm trying to think what I think the best game is in terms of just sheer quality.
I can think of one.
Probably the one that came out in 2017. Of course, I'm talking about 2019 Cadence of Hyrule. No. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the remake of Link's Awakening. I think this is S tier. This is one of my favorite 2D Zeldas. I think they did a great job with the remake. It definitely has some issues. They got rid of the stuff. I already know you're about to say it, Dompe. They added Dompe.
Mm-hmm.
The Dompe's graveyard stuff with the Dungeon Maker was awful. However, the presentation in this game is absolutely incredible. Having it just on a modern console with more buttons makes it so much better. Like, here's the thing, it's so funny with Link to the Past. It's like, bro, have you played a modern Zelda game? I can understand not liking the Game Boy and Game Boy Color Link's Awakenings and even like Oracle of Ages and Seasons because of the limitations of those consoles. But like, after that, it's not even close. It's not even up for debate. in my opinion. What do you think?
I think that's fine placement. But yeah, obviously the Dom Payne stuff is disappointing. And they got rid of like a couple, like the picture stuff, which fine, whatever. They kept like the good cutscenes that were in that for the most part.
Yeah.
There was a couple that they got rid of, but it's whatever. There is certain quirks to the Game Boy versions. Like there's a way, like if you press the jump button and like walk backward, you can literally just like start walking backward.
Oh yeah.
In the game, like it's kind of fun. Kind of glide across the screen, but that's just like a weird quirk of the game. It's not like supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from the Dante stuff, this game is pretty much almost a perfect remake, I would say.
Yeah, I think Link's Awakening though is just slam dunk of a game. I have to ask though. You've told me in the past that this is your personal favorite Zelda game. I don't know if that's changed. I think maybe it has. Would you put this in S+ on your personal tier list?
If I'm just saying like which one I enjoy the most, I would say Link's Awakening is my favorite game, just in general. It was my favorite game before the remake came out. That's why I was so excited when it got remade.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, when they first showed the trailer, it was in like February of 2019, I think.
The good old days.
Literally, I remember seeing reactions to it, and people are like watching it, and as soon as they see Link, they're like, "Oh my god, it's Link's Awakening!" Dude, literally, as soon as you see like bubbles just on the in the water, I'm like, holy shit.
Well, because I mean that was the thing. Not to go on a rant about this, but I mean there was like rumors that it was being remade for the 3DS.
Yeah,
which were probably true.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's clearly a modified version of the Link Between Worlds engine.
Yeah,
it's like clearly. So
yeah, fun little trivia. What's after Link's Awakening? Ocarina?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, I mean, unless you want to count like the BS games.
Okay. Well, let's just get rid of those. We're not really gonna rank this stuff.
You played them a little bit, right?
I know I played BS Legend of Zelda a little bit. It was pretty good. I don't know. And then Ancient Stone Tablets, I think I played a tiny bit of. And the Game & Watch stuff I have not really messed with. So we're just gonna not rank them. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ocarina of Time. So let me say this. I have nostalgia for like 3 or 4 Zelda games, especially. Ocarina of Time is one of those games. This was one of the first video games I ever played. I love this game. I love this game a lot. I think it's a great game.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know where you're expecting me to put it. I think I'm gonna put it higher than you expect. I would personally, I know once again this is one of those things where this is the highest reviewed game of all time next to Elden Ring, 2022 Game of the Year. I would put it below Link's Awakening. That's where I would put it. The Rock? Ocarina of Time is a fantastic game. It's definitely is more accessible than the other game that we're about to talk about. I think
the other game.
the other game, which I used to hate. Ocarina of Time is really accessible. It's one of the best N64 games. I would say only 2 games per surpass it. One of them being a Mario game, the other one being a Legend of Zelda game. Yeah, it's a timeless classic, and yeah, it hasn't aged great. But with the 3DS remakes, which actually are separate on here, which we should talk about, they're even better. So, what do you think, Caleb?
So, Ocarina of Time is the first Zelda game I ever played. I never beat it as a kid. It was like when I was 8.
Yeah.
But I do remember highly enjoying it. And like 2 years ago, I played through it again. The N64 version, by the way.
Oh,
that game...
Tough choice.
Yeah, the N64... So, the N64 version, I think, is probably a worse version than the 3DS version. I mean, that makes sense. But obviously, the only problem with the 3DS version that I have is the fact that it's on the 3DS.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to play it with like a normal controller on a TV.
The gyro is so good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that reason, I put it above Ocarina of Time, but I think right there is pretty much a great placement.
For the remake, yeah. I don't think the N64 version is bad enough to detriment it enough to be like a separate tier. I think we should just put them right next to each other. There's few instances where I think a remake is that much better to the point where like it needs to be a different tier. Ocarina of Time is great. It's a classic. Some of the best dungeons in the series, in my opinion. Some of the best earlier characters and just themings, and that Hyrule Field is kind of empty, but it's pretty good. It's better than the GameCube Hyrule Field. So yeah, Ocarina of Time, I think is, not the. This is the takeaway people are gonna have. They're gonna be like, he hates Ocarina of Time. Link's Awakening, he likes more than that. He put it below Link's Awakening. He hates it. No, I love that game. I love this game more. Caleb, I have not really played the Oracle games, so lead me through this one. Oh my god.
So the Oracle games, I've only beaten Oracle of Seasons. I only played like a little bit of Oracle of Ages, but they're pretty similar.
Yes.
Yeah. As far as structure goes, obviously they're different games. People group them together because they came out on the same day and they're like similar, but they're completely different games. They have different dungeons, different stories, different items, at least to some extent. But Oracle of Seasons, I would probably put probably B tier. I would say I like playing Adventure of Link more, but I think the gameplay for that is really good. But as far as like a comprehensive game, I would say the Oracle games are better.
Okay. Well, just to anger people, I'm gonna put it there. I've and then should I just put this here just for like the sake of people always want to come together?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty similar from what I played. So.
Right. Well, see, I've always tried, because I remember being super excited. It was, I think, May of 2013, Caleb, maybe 2014. They released these games on the 3DS Virtual Console, and that was my first time ever playing them. And I don't know why, but every time I load it up and start a new save file, it's always kind of it feels like a slog. I don't know why. Obviously, I mean, these are the high candidates for next to get a remake, so I'll probably just end up waiting until they get remade, if they get remade. I assume they will. Maybe not in the immediate future, but probably coming up here, I would assume. So I think this is fair. Also, this is just here to piss people off.
Yeah.
But you noted that we did skip Majora's Mask.
By the way, just an FYI, I don't think either of us have played the N64 version.
No. And to be fair, I have heard it's actually better.
I've heard. Here's what I've heard.
I've heard idiots say it's better. Obviously, I don't know, but basically, the reasons that people say it's worse are freaking stupid.
Yes.
However, backstory for me. A lot of new viewers on the channel, Caleb. I hated Majora's Mask my entire life. My entire life, this game was the plague for me. And then eventually, I finally pushed myself through it using a walkthrough. To be fair, last year I pushed myself through it. I had such a good time with this game. Best characters in a Zelda game, I would say. Termina's awesome. Really cool dungeons. The transformations are great. It's not without its issues. But personally, I played the 3DS version, so I guess I'll rank that first. Personally, it's my favorite Zelda game so far that we've ranked. I know you do not agree, so let's hear it.
No, I don't. I would put it at the bottom of S.
Okay.
Basically, I would just put it. I would just put it. I mean, obviously, given the fact that there's an S plus, normally I wouldn't put an S, but there's an S plus, so fine. I don't think it's as good as Ocarina of Time. They're pretty similar, but Ocarina of Time is just easier to get into for me.
Exactly. No, I was gonna say I kind of mentioned that when we were talking about Ocarina. It is a much more accessible game. I would probably rather replay Ocarina of Time. However, the experience I had just playing through Majora's Mask for the first time was so good that honestly, I don't know if I ever want to play it again because I feel like it might ruin it. It's kind of the same way I feel about Breath of the Wild. I don't know if I ever really want to touch that game again, to be honest. I had my one experience with it. I'm very satisfied with that. I'm sure in 10 years I'll play it again if they ever remake it or something. Ocarina of Time, maybe it's because I grew up with it more and I was playing it on N64 and then 3DS when it came out there. Maybe because of that, I'm just so much more used to it, kind of like Mario 64, where I can just replay it with, turn off my brain and just play it. Maybe that's it. How about we do this? Because having not played N64 Majora's Mask, I am fairly confident that the people that say it's better than the 3DS version are stupid. I think this would be fair. At the very least, because the time mechanic in Majora's Mask was always the barrier for me. Obviously, if you know much about if you get into Majora's Mask, you realize it's not really an issue. However, the 3DS version alleviated a lot of my concerns with that thing. So, with the Song of Double Time and all that. So I think Majora's Mask 3D is significantly better. So,
well, I mean, the Song of Double Time was also on the original.
Wasn't there something that made it more streamlined? Am I tripping?
Yes, you are.
What am I tripping? What am I tripping on?
I mean, they made like the they made like the
save statues were
different.
The
bomber's notebook easier.
Yeah, they streamlined a lot of stuff.
You be able to save whenever you want it. Yeah,
right. Which is a
net
positive to me.
Yeah, but to me, it's still like you have to be like in this whole mindset to get into Majora's Mask, because in Ocarina of Time you can just go like to the first few dungeons and be like, just lickety split, just step 1, step 2, step 3. Majora's Mask, you have to like do a bunch of other stuff just to get to like one dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, once again, like I said, I used a guide when I played this game. I don't know if I would enjoy it that much without a guide. And not like step for step, but whenever I was stuck, I was like, whatever, let's just look up what to do. And I enjoyed it through that way of playing. I know a lot of people don't approve of that. I don't care what you think. So for me, it's S+. Do you think we should do like a median here to kind of round it out?
If you want to do a medium, just put it at the top of S, I would say.
Okay. I think we're gonna agree on 2 of the S+ games anyway, so it won't be empty for long.
The only 2 S+ games.
There might be a third, maybe.
I think I'm looking at it.
I think you might know what my third could be, not counting remakes. Not counting remakes.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm very conflicted on some of these 2D Zeldas, as we're gonna get to. But yeah, I think separating Majora's Mask 3D and Majora's Mask like this is fair.
I mean, the difference probably isn't that great, like realistically speaking, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. All S here. What's next? Wind Waker?
Next, I think, would be
Four Swords. I have not played this. This is one of the phones I am not very familiar with. So
I have not played the original version, but I have played Four Swords Anniversary.
I played that once when I was like 12, and I don't remember anything. So I'll let you handle this one.
Four Swords Anniversary Edition is basically just a version of Four Swords that there's like a little bit of extra content. There's like some anniversary content. Like you can play through like a part of like the original Zelda 1 map, and there's like a Link's Awakening map. But besides that, they basically just added single player. That was the big thing. You can like control like these little Link dolls.
Yeah.
Like swap between them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That being said, it is absolutely the worst one so far.
I agree. I agree from my very vague memories of playing it. So, would you put it in D tier or would you put it below Zelda 1?
I'd put it in D.
From what I played, I agree. I don't have much else to see. Should I just put this here or should we just leave it as unplayed?
Just leave it as unplayed. Like,
yeah, I don't think.
I mean, technically, we didn't play the original version of Majora's Mask either. So
yeah, that is true. And then before we get to Wind Waker, let's just go and talk about Four Swords Adventures while we're on the subject. I have not played this one either, so
yeah,
take it away, Caleb.
All right, so this game is really interesting because it was on the GameCube. You can play it single player. There's like weird like Link configurations you can do. I haven't played it.
Oh, for some reason I thought you had played that one. Okay,
well, I own it. I haven't played it.
Prediction placement. I would assume it's probably like here. Well, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Definitely better than this one. Okay, so okay, well, let's just do this one, get it out of the way. I don't know why it's really a separate thing. Ocarina of Time Master Quest, of course, this is just in the collector's edition on GameCube. And then they
also added it to Ocarina of 3D.
Yeah. It's just a harder difficulty. I don't really know why. Like I get it, but I don't think it really even deserves to be a separate thing on this list. To be honest, so I'm just gonna leave it there. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why is this a separate thing? Wait. No, Four Swords was never released separately, was it?
No, it was not.
That is weird.
I think that's just talking about the GBA version of A Link to the Past. I think that's what that is.
Wow. Well, we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, Wind Waker. Caleb.
Yes.
I'll let you take this one for
now. Well, really, I've only played the Wii U version.
And I've played both.
Okay. Well, the Wii U version is S+.
Yep.
I haven't played the GameCube version, and I heard it's just annoying because you have to do like each of the Triforce things individually. And get like a bunch of money.
They've done a good job with all these Zelda remakes, streamlining stuff. Having not played Majora's Mask 1, the original version.
Majora's Mask 1.
Yeah, of course. Having not played the original version, but knowing about it and just seeing stuff about it, I definitely think they streamlined the most in that game. Second up would be Wind Waker, though. They streamlined so much with the fast sale and the Triforce quest and all that, so Wind Waker HD is significantly better. I don't think it's significant enough to bump this out of S+, though. Wind Waker encapsulates everything I like about Zelda. Fantastic dungeons, fantastic music, fantastic characters. Art style is perfect. This is what Zelda should look like. If not this, then Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. It's close to a perfect video game, in my opinion. Caleb.
It's pretty good, for sure. Obviously, the Swift Sail definitely enhances the experience.
Yes.
I played the GameCube version like a little bit, but not enough to be able to rank the whole thing. But obviously, it's the same game, pretty much.
Just slightly worse.
It's just a slightly crunchier version.
It's a crunchy Wind Waker. Okay, I want to just random talking point. What's your stance on this whole thing of people not liking the Wind Waker HD's art style? People don't like it because of the bloom or something.
So there's a couple things.
The cell shading.
There's one is the bloom. They think there's too much bloom, which basically just means that they brightened the sky too much.
It looks so much better.
Yeah. And then there's also some of the lighting is if you're standing next to a torch, it has, I guess for some reason, the torches have a different lighting effect than the rest of the game. Because normally it's cell shade, but if you stand next to a torch, it becomes regular shading. So he just looks like clay model instead of what he normally looks like. Which, you're standing next to a torch every so often, but you're not really going to notice it that much. You're not going to be oh!
I never noticed it once in my playthrough until after I went on Twitter and I was like, oh, this is an issue.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Stupid. I think it just is a simply better version. I think it looks better. I think it plays better, obviously. However, I mean, not to discredit the Wind Waker on GameCube, the game still looks great. It is a timeless-looking video game. That game is aging so well. I do think the Wind Waker HD looks better, though. The UI is a lot cleaner, too.
It's definitely in HD.
It is in HD. Is it 1080p?
Yes, 1080p 30.
That's surprising. Okay. Minish Cap. Caleb.
Okay.
I have not played this game since 2014, so my memory of it is a little foggy. However, I have to say, I like this game a lot. I think this is one of the most underrated Zelda games. I would probably, being honest with myself, I like it a lot in my memory. But that's my memory. If we're being realistic, based on what I've seen of the game since then and Let's Plays and stuff, I would probably put it here. I don't think it's S tier, and a lot of people are probably watching this bro, you're putting it that high? Yeah, easily. If I replayed it, it would probably be S tier, to be honest. This is one of my favorite 2D Zelda games. Yeah, I think this is the third best 2D Zelda game. Maybe second best. The other one's kind of a toss up for me. Which we'll get to. So I love Minish Cap. I don't know about you.
So for me, I did play the Minish Cap. I played it once on the Wii U Virtual Console.
That's where I played it.
Yeah. Now, when I was playing this, I didn't look up any guides or anything like that.
Me neither.
So after I beat the 4th dungeon, I was surprised because the game ended.
It is a short game.
And I basically completely missed all the side stuff. Because normally, it's you get the 3 dungeons, then you get the Master Sword, and then, whatever. And then there's, more dungeons after that. After the 4th dungeon, the game ends. So I didn't get to do any of the side content, because I didn't know the game was about to end.
That's fair.
I would put it either A or B.
Okay. So, okay.
From what I played.
Well, okay. Well, we'll do medium once again. I say we do this. I definitely think it's a better link than Link to the Past. Just the concept of getting real small and going through a lot of my memories of this game is just walking around. I don't remember the name of the main town. Is it Hyrule Town? I don't freaking know. Castle Town.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what it actually is. But just doing the little puzzles of going into people's houses and stuff and knocking stuff over off the bookshelves. A lot of fun. Just a lot of fun little memories with that. It's a very unique gameplay mechanic that I would love to see them revisit in the future. I don't think they will, but they should.
No. But
I do think this is a good spot for it, though.
The only thing that I think is weird about it, it's no fault of the game itself, but the GBA has really weird audio. I don't know if you noticed
Oh,
that.
Oh yeah, that it is crunchy.
GBA audio is so weird. Like it's trying to be high quality, but it just can't do it.
Yeah.
So,
Caleb.
I don't know.
I have not played I have not beaten Twilight Princess. I have tried to play it many times. This could easily be a situation where the day the day I actually finally push myself through it and finish it, I might end up loving it like I did with Majora's Mask. I don't think that's very likely. So just based on my personal opinion, based on I played like the first 3 dungeons. I know it's not very much; it's a very long game, but based on my experience with it, and the fact that I've tried to play it like 8 times and just keep losing interest, I think that says a lot about the game. First of all,
I will say the game does get better in the second half.
it probably goes like it probably would go here realistically. I don't know if it's D tier, but yeah, it's definitely. I'd rather play this game. I can play that.
The game does get better in the second half. It doesn't get that much better in the second half, but it gets better in the second half.
Yeah.
This is the worst 3D Zelda game.
Not even close.
I don't.
I feel like a bully. I feel like a bully right now. Because there are a lot of people that really like Twilight Princess, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
There's two types of people. Well, there's 3. The third type is the people who haven't played it. But the other 2 is 1, it's either your favorite Zelda game, or 2, the Wind Waker is a better game.
Yeah.
There's no Twilight Princess is better, but it's not the best. Yeah. I've never heard that. I don't know what the deal is with that. Twilight Princess, I don't think is that great. People say, "Oh, the dungeons are the best." No, they're not.
That's not even.
The dungeons kind of suck.
Yeah.
At least from what I played, which is the entire game. Multiple times.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because from my experience, it seems that most people that actually think it's like their favorite Zelda game or whatever, usually like it came out when they were in high school or something. That's my
the people who think Twilight Princess is their favorite Zelda game played the Wii U version and wonder why it's flipped.
Hey, well, I was gonna say because my brother, who was probably maybe like going into high school, maybe around the time this came out, older brother, this is his favorite Zelda game. He actually played the GameCube version, to be fair, but I think that similar to A Link to the Past, I think there is a very specific large group of people, probably that grew up with the Wii, like you mentioned, joking about the flipped version, that have nostalgia for it, and that I think that's it. To be honest, I think that has to be it, right?
I think it's the people who played Wind Waker as a kid and were disappointed that it wasn't like a crunchy, like gritty game because their friends were playing GTA.
I think there is a lot to be said about that too. Which I already said this earlier. This is not what Zelda should look like in any circumstance. And
it looks terrible.
Yeah, no, it has aged horribly and it looks disgusting.
And by the way, the character designs are meant to be cartoony, but the graphics don't accommodate that. Like they're Wind Waker style character models, but they're made with realistic textures, so it doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, and it's funny too because like I see this argument a lot that like Twilight Princess is the natural evolution of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Those games look nothing like this. Those games weren't trying to look realistic. I don't know. People just think because the way it looks, people think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were like held back, or I mean, obviously, yeah, every game was held back on the N64, but like people think they were trying to go for realistic there. They clearly were not. That was not supposed to look realistic, especially the characters. Especially the characters. For fucking King, what's the King Zora's name? yeah, you're going for realistic graphics there, man. No, not even close. Not even close. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are cartoony games.
To an extent. Like, look at the
not
concept art for it. Like,
yeah.
It's not trying to be realistic.
Exactly.
That being said, I don't think I'd put it as low as you put them. I'd put them in B, but...
Ugh. Here, well, yeah, they're probably... Yeah, that's fine.
There, that'll appease them. Just below Zelda 2.
This will make people happy. Obviously, I'm going on record saying I am not beating the game. To be fair, my opinion could... Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, in 5 years when I finally play through this game and it's my favorite Zelda, you know, I'm just saving face right now, Caleb. No, I don't think that'll ever happen. I will play through it eventually all the way through. I don't think it'll ever be my favorite Zelda game. Okay.
All right.
Link's crossbow training. Let's pause. Discuss.
It's
I've actually never.
I did play it.
I've actually never played this. I have it.
I did play it. It's not significant at all. I'd put it in D tier.
Okay.
There's nothing to it. It's really boring.
Yeah.
You shoot them.
It's a fun little game. Yeah. Where's Zelda Battle Quest from Nintendo Land, man? I think that's better than this. Having not played this.
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass. Okay. Here's the thing. I grew up with both these games. I had both these games on DS growing up. I never beat them, and I have not played them since I was under the age of 10. So I don't remember anything, basically, to be honest. Other than the one Phantom Hourglass puzzle where you close the DS. That's it. That's the only thing I remember from these games. I remember thinking. I don't think this is the popular opinion. I remember liking Phantom Hourglass more though, but I think people seem to like Spirit Tracks more. I don't know if you've seen that. I'm not sure what the exact consensus is. Yeah. So what's your opinion?
I haven't played Spirit Tracks.
Okay.
I played it a little bit, but not enough for me to rank it.
Okay. We will leave this one
dungeon or two. But
yeah. Phantom Hourglass?
Phantom Hourglass. Here's the thing. People say when they're talking about like the 3DS versus the DS, the 3DS obviously has a really great library. And then there's always the people that say the DS also did. No, it didn't. It never did.
Use it, okay.
The only good games it had was Pokemon. And that's including the Zelda games. The Zelda games on here, they suck. Mostly because of the controls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this where you would put it? Based on my memory, this is probably where I'd put it. Just so because I don't like leaving like a mainline Zelda unranked. We're just gonna put it next to it. We'll put it a little bit above it.
They're pretty similar. Based on what I play, I put like a third of Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I need to replay those. They're not very long either, are they? So I should just maybe I'll stream those eventually. I don't know where you stand on this, Caleb. I'm curious to see. Skyward Sword. This is not Skyward Sword HD. So for all intents and purposes, we're talking about
the same game.
We're talking about this is out of all the remakes the one that did the least. I think Skyward Sword is grossly underrated. What do you think? I like
playing with the Pro Controller.
Yes. Adding button controls, like, hey, I was swapping in between both, and honestly, both controls are completely valid. Sitting there with a controller and playing this game felt so nice. They made it work, to be honest. I was surprised. I'm just trying to see how can I piss people off the most here.
Put it right above A Link to the Past.
It's much higher than that. You're talking
about it right above Ocarina.
I think it might be, Caleb. For me, I think I might like this more than Ocarina. I know that's like the hottest of takes, but in my opinion, this is the best incarnation of Zelda. This game is beautiful. The dungeons are pretty good. Good length. Really cool final boss. The imprisoned fights suck. Everybody talks about that. But here's the thing, though. Everybody blows those out of proportion. They aren't good, and they do them like back to back at one point, like immediately, and that's really stupid. It's not as bad as people say, in my opinion.
It's definitely annoying.
It's definitely annoying, but it's not. People act like it's the reason this game is bad. It's not that big of a deal.
The controls are the reason this game is bad,
and they fix it. No. So yeah, I don't know. At worst, it'd be here. But I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it right now in this moment. I don't know about you. What do you think?
It's somewhere between the top of A and above Ocarina 3D.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as Ocarina of Time. They're pretty similar.
Skyward Sword is, I'll say. I guess I kind of said this with the character. Skyward Sword, I think, is the best story and writing. How many of them? Groose is a fantastic support character.
It's definitely among them.
Yeah, it's among the Zelda games that exist.
Yes, it is definitely one of the games ever made. I personally like it better than Majora's Mask.
Well, yeah, we already kind of crossroads there. Well, maybe like this. At that point, I just feel like I'm gonna do Skyward Sword better.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's around Ocarina.
Yeah,
around there.
It's in this general frame. Skyward Sword's really underrated. If you haven't played it, please go play it. And here's the thing. Everybody was so, like, it was so funny, dude. For 10 years, everybody was just saying, I don't like this game because of the controls. Now you have no excuse. What's your excuse now, buddy? What's your excuse now? Because they fixed it. If you don't like motion controls, they fixed it. To be fair, I don't think the controls were ever really an issue for me personally. I know some people. I think you had a different experience than me, but I never had
the
an
control.
Issue with it.
Well, with the Wii version, it was constantly like desyncing.
I never had that issue. So I don't know if Wiimotes were different. I don't know.
Well, the problem with Skyward Sword on the Wii was the fact that it used gyro. It didn't use the sensor bar at all. That was the problem, because normally with a Wii game, you have the sensor bar. Like, I'm pretending to hold the Wii remote. You have the Wii remote, right? And yeah. So, and it has the sensor bar. It has like the 2 LEDs sticking out, right? And then that's how it centers. That's where it knows where the thing is, because the sensor bar doesn't move, right?
Yeah.
That's how it keeps synced and centered. With gyro, it doesn't have that. So it'll constantly, like, especially if you're moving your arm fast, which you kind of have to do for the game.
Yeah.
It'll desync because it's using gyro, because it has no point of being able to center it.
Yeah.
You have to like constantly pause the game and then press the down or whatever on the D-pad, and then it'll fix. The Switch is a little bit better in that regard.
Yeah, you can just like press a button and it instantly does it, right?
Yes.
Caleb, why are you blurry? Yeah, there you go.
That's a good question. But yeah, I play with the Pro Controller, so.
Yeah, like I said, I'll swap in between both with the HD version, but I think both are fine on Switch. So, great game, very underrated. Once again, play it if you haven't. And I would love to hear the excuses for people that said it was bad because of the gyro or the Wiimote controls in the comments down below. Why do you still dislike it on Switch? Okay. I will say the teardrop stuff is not great. Is that what they are? Teardrops, whatever. The Sacred Realm stuff. Not good. Not that good. So I will say that to its detriment.
It's better than the Wolf-Link sections.
By far. I hated that. Okay. Caleb.
Finally.
A Link Between Worlds, baby. The game that's better than A Link to the Past in every way.
That is correct.
So I was kind of teasing like earlier that I might put another game in S+ tier. I don't think so. I don't even know. Is it even S tier? No, it's S tier. It's S tier. Where in S tier though is the question.
Now, personally, for me, obviously, Link Between Worlds is better than Link to the Past. That's the most apt comparison you can make.
Yes.
I think it's really good.
I think Link's Awakening is the best 2D Zelda currently.
Yes, I think Link's Awakening is better, but this is not far behind.
Okay. Well, this is really only like 2 games if you don't even like it. So yeah, it's not even that far behind. Yeah, we'll put it above the N64 versions of these games. That's fair.
That's fair.
I think it's respectable.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, I'll piss some people off. Just trying to make people angry. I like Between Worlds is awesome. Fantastic game. I love the little wall merging mechanic. That was a lot of fun. A lot of hype for this game when it was coming out too. So.
And the one, the most forgettable villain of all time, Yuga.
Yeah, Yuga's not great.
He literally just becomes Ganon later.
What's the Ravio? Ravio's fun. I like Ravio.
Ravio.
Yeah,
that was cool. Ravio is a cool character.
See, here's the thing. This game is literally just a Link to the Past, but better in every way. Mm-hmm. There are people that try to still say Link to the Past is better, even after playing A Link Between Worlds, and I'm just like, bro, what? They're the same game, except this version's better. It plays so much better. Like, a big issue for me with A Link to the Past is the Sword's hitbox. That's not an issue. So I don't know.
There's only 360-degree movement on Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, it is simply a better game. Caleb, you said you have not played much Hyrule Warriors in your time, correct?
I played about a third of the way through the Wii U version. Okay,
I'll do the talking then. I like me a good Warriors game, Caleb. I do. Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. It's fine. I think it's top of C. It's a competent Warriors game. I was doing a video with Ty Played I think we were doing that was the 3DS tier list, I think. And I said I like Fire Emblem Warriors more than I like Hyrule Warriors. When we're talking about the Wii U version of Hyrule Warriors, abso-freaking-lutely. They've added so many quality of life things in the next iteration of Hyrule Warriors, and especially the Switch version, that they first added in Fire Emblem Warriors, that this version lacks. The Wii U version lacks. So the Wii U version is completely outdated. There's no reason to play it. You can't... The thing I'm talking about is the switching characters on the fly. That fixes Warriors games for me. Before you couldn't switch characters on the fly, which was awful. So this version is not good, in my opinion. It's a fine game. It's a fine game. But when there's other versions of it that are significantly better, it's hard to recommend it. Now, that being said, I don't know if
Warriors Legends is significantly better, but
that being said, this is worse. Only because it's on 3DS. Only because it's on 3DS. That is the only setback. The content in this game is awesome. The extra content, they added Linkle, take it or leave it. The My Fairy Self's cool. Has all the DLC from the Wii U version.
Given that that's the only reason that it's worse, is that it's on the 3DS, you can imagine what Definitive Edition is like.
Yes. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is one of the best Warriors games ever made. Maybe the best. I think it's better than Age of Calamity, personally. I don't know what that was was there.
By the way, Age of Calamity isn't even on this list, I just realized.
Oh, I haven't played it, so it's fine.
Well, never mind. I bought at launch. I bought my copy at launch. It's still sealed, just sitting over there.
I played like 5 hours, and because it came out the same week as the PS5. I mentally cannot go back to it. It runs so poorly. I can't do it. Maybe I was jaded, or not jaded, but like when I played Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, maybe I wasn't in that mindset of like frame rates and stuff. So maybe it's just as bad. I don't remember, to be honest. But Age of Calamity runs so bad. I don't think there's a Switch game published by Nintendo that runs worse than it. It's awful. So, Switch Pro, Nintendo, where's that? But yeah, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, obviously significantly better than those. I would even bump it all the way up to...
All the way up to B.
I would all the way to the top of B specifically. I do think it is. Warriors is kind of like a slippery slope. Either you like it or you don't. If you like Warriors gameplay, you will like Hyrule Warriors Legends or Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for sure. It is one of the best Warriors games ever made, if not the best, like I said. So, I would put it at top of B personally.
Mm-hmm.
Let's skip ahead a little bit here. My Nintendo Picross Twilight Princess. Caleb, are you a Picross fan?
No. I will say I did play this game.
Me too. I have played this.
I have played it a little bit. It's fine. It's fine if you like Picross, I assume. I don't know. That's perfect.
It is
right there.
It is it's Jupiter. They make all the Picross games for the Switch and all that. They made this for 3DS for My Nintendo members. It's a fine Picross game. I'm not actually gonna put it there. It's hard to rank it. It's like it's Picross. I don't know really where you want me to put it. Honestly, I might just leave it unplayed, even though we both played it. Like, I don't know, how do you rank Picross against action adventure games?
In D tier.
Oh no. Picross is good. Picross is good. It ain't D tier. That's rude. That's rude to Picross. I'm putting it there.
All right, that's fair.
All right, Caleb, you ready for the truest hot take?
All right, let's do it.
This game's good.
That's a hot take?
Evidently. People, dude, sometimes I look up like list of best Zelda games. Sometimes, or like list all Zelda games ranked, right? Literally every, they'll even have like the CDI games, which this list doesn't have. This game won't even appear on it. People forget about it so much. It's so funny. Because if you play it with friends, it is actually a really good game. Now, like I said earlier, I haven't played Four Swords, really, or Four Sword Adventures. Maybe those are better multiplayer Zelda experiences, but with the right group of people on Triforce Heroes, and even I played it a lot with randoms, too, online on 3DS. It's a really good Zelda game. If you go into it with the mindset that it is a multiplayer game. I think all those lists that have it so low, or all the reviewers that reviewed it so low, probably try to play it single player.
I would say the best way to play this game is locally with your friends. If you try to play it online, you might lag a little bit.
I never experienced too much lag. There was definitely some, but not too much.
Especially playing with randoms who don't know what they're doing. It's not great. Yeah. I imagine that's how most people played it. Don't play the single player.
No, don't. I've tried. It's awful. But with the right group of people, playing multiplayer, communication is key. Like you said, probably just playing locally is the right way to do it. I would put it at top of B personally. The levels are really good.
Yeah.
A lot of content, a lot of costumes. It's a fun game. I wish not for a port of this game to Switch, but a sequel or something very akin to it. What do you think?
I think it's fine. Is it better than A Link to the Past?
The
A Link to the Past scale?
On the Link to the Past game. I mean, when you put it like that way, Link can wear a dress, so yes.
Yeah, I know. There is a character in this game that has pink hair, and it's just like Link. So.
Oh yeah. I'll just put it at top of B right now. I think that's fair. Let's skip that one. It's Cadence Hyrule. Have you played this?
No.
It is very good. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it is maybe the best looking 2D Zelda game. Pixar in this game is top tier. It's fine. It's another B tier game for me. I'd probably, yeah, it goes in like this little spin. This is like a little spin-off category right here. I think it's better than Hyrule Warriors. Is it better than Triforce Heroes? Yeah, I think it is. This game's really fun. The rhythm mechanics, of course, this is basically a sequel to Crypt of the Necrodancer. I forget the developer's name. Weird little project that Nintendo did with this indie dev. Came out really good. There's a physical version, which is sick, with DLC. I never played the DLC. Cool. It's randomized dungeons and stuff, which I know a lot of people don't like. I get that. But I personally really enjoyed this game when it came out. The music, of course, it's a rhythm game. Rhythm action game, I guess. Look up footage of it. Music in this game is obviously top notch. A lot of really good remixes of iconic Zelda tracks. Yeah, I like this game a lot. You should play it, Caleb. You should play it. You look so disinterested at it. All right, Caleb.
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Caleb. I'll sit back. I'll take it easy. What do you gotta say? Crack it on knuckles.
All right. S plus.
This game sucks. Yeah. Okay. Well, the question now remains, Caleb.
Is it better than A Link to the Past?
No. Okay. So the question that is pretty much every. My mic will switch in. Pretty much every Zelda tier list for the people that have the right opinions at this point.
That have the right opinions.
Every Zelda tier list comes down to this: is the best Zelda game Wind Waker, or is it Breath of the Wild? I don't know. They are so close for me. And I should say, if this were my list, like I said, I would have had Majora's Mask be the other S Plus game. I do think both these games are better than Majora's Mask. So, with that said, I think I might put Wind Waker above Breath of the Wild, personally. Breath of the Wild did so much good, not even just for the Zelda franchise, but video games. Elden Ring?
Have you seen video games since 2017?
Have you guys played Elden Ring? Breath of the Wild is obviously one of the most influential games ever created. As influential as that first Legend of Zelda game, I would argue. It is a masterpiece. I think a game can be a masterpiece and still have issues, though. Both these games have issues, to be fair. Breath of the Wild, I do think, has a little bit more issues. But maybe that's kind of expected when a game has this much scale. It is a much bigger game than Wind Waker, so there was a little bit more room for error. The biggest issue with this game, for me, honestly, as I've reflected on the game since 2017 when I first played it, and that was the last time I played it. I never even played the DLC, to be honest. The Champions Ballad. I did, like, the Master Mode stuff. The biggest issue with this game for me is the story. I know a lot of people say the Divine Beasts, and yeah, the Divine Beasts aren't great. And like the weapon durability and the rain and all that. Those are little nitpicks. Maybe not the Divine Beasts. The story in this game, they really failed to tell a great story because everything happened in the past, which is why I can tell you right now, unless something went horribly wrong, if they really mess something up, Breath of the Wild 2 will probably be the best Zelda game ever made. Caleb, what is your take?
I think that's correct. That being said, I don't think the biggest problem with this game is the story.
I didn't used to think that. I've definitely changed.
I think the biggest problem is the shrines.
Shrines are great. What do you mean?
Obviously, shrines are cool. I like finding them. The original experience cannot be is unparalleled.
Which is why I don't want to play the game again.
Yeah. I like finding all those shrines, but the problem is a lot of them are super repetitive. And because, obviously there's so many of them, they're going to be similar. A third of them are tests of strength, which is annoying. Some of them, you literally just walk in, they give you the thing. Like, obviously, for the most part, those are like, you have to accomplish some goal first before you can even enter.
I like those ones.
But some of them, you can literally just walk in.
Yeah. I think... I know you're not as familiar with Elden Ring. I'm not even like an Elden Ring expert or anything because I played like 15 hours and I barely got anywhere into the game. Shrines are a really good idea. They weren't executed quite properly. I like shrines. If I had to pick between the Divine Beasts or the shrines, I would definitely pick the shrines because the puzzles are really good in the ones that actually have puzzles. However, playing Elden Ring, I hope they do this for Breath of the Wild too. Obviously, we don't know much. Can you answer this? Have they shown a shrine in like the background at all? I don't think they have.
I don't think so.
Elden Ring basically has shrines, but they're just part of the world. You just find a cave and go in the cave and then do a thing in the cave. If they could do that in Breath of the Wild 2, oh my god. Because having the shrines, it makes it feel like a video game. It makes it feel like, okay, I'm just going in here and playing a level. Elden Ring... Yeah. I know a lot of people are probably watching this like, bro, why are you comparing it to Elden Ring so much? Have you seen it? Elden Ring just makes it all feel like a natural part of the world. The shrines feel artificial, quite literally in like their design and setting and everything. So, I mean, they're literally artificially made dungeons. So, at this point, I'm just speculating more on what I want Breath of the Wild 2 to be. But make the shrines integral to the actual world. Don't make them some man-made thing. Make them actual, like, real... explorable like caverns and undergrounds, that kind of thing. So that's my take. The shrines are cool. They could be executed better though.
My main problem with them is because they're so short. Like obviously the Divine Beast or something else, they all have the same puzzle basically. They're all the same, and there's basically no enemies in them.
Yeah.
But the shrines are all too short because and the reason what I mean is like it's like yeah, but there's so many of them, right? The problem is There's a bunch of them that have like good puzzles, but because they're shrines, they can't really build upon it. So like you can never get like if there was one that was like good, like say you find one that was really good, like you have to glide up because like there's gusts of air or something, and then like climb and there's like a fire puzzle or something. Because the shrines are so short, that puzzle lasts like 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, and
it never can get more complex or challenging. That's where it stops. And the next shrine is just level 0 again, basically.
Right.
They don't build upon each other.
Yes. Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, that's kind of the issue with this approach to game design, with it being open air, as they like to call it. It's hard to I think they probably knew what they were doing. They just were like, well, I don't know how else to really do this. Have actual linear progression with like items and stuff, but not make it feel like you're constricted to like a path, so on the one hand, I think they did the right thing in making it feel completely open, and the other hand, I get where you're coming from in that nothing builds upon another thing, basically, which is definitely an issue.
Yeah, and also they completely overhyped the Guardians.
They're all right.
Like when they were showing them in E3, and I saw the trailers and all this gameplay and stuff, they made them out to be like these boss fights in the world. Here's my first experience with a Guardian. First experience was I ran into Hyrule Field, and I said, "Oh man, I gotta get away from here," because the Guardian was chasing me with his laser or whatever, and then I died instantly. This was right when I got off the Great Plateau. After that, I avoided Hyrule Field, the middle of the map, which is like the biggest part of the map, by the way. I avoided that and avoid any Guardian I'd seen for like a long time. And then I said, all right, I'm going to get all this ancient gear, because these are like big bosses. Like they killed me instantly, They're super powerful, right? I got all this ancient gear, ancient arrows, all this other crap, right? I said, all right, finally, I'm going to face this Guardian. Literally, I said, all right, obviously it's Zelda. Step 1, shoot him in the eye. It died instantly. That's not fun.
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, okay. Well, to your credit, to the game's credit, you couldn't have done that until you were late in the game and had all that ancient armor and stuff. Which again goes into the greater issue of how do you balance a game where you can do anything in any order? You know, it's hard. It is a hard balance to strike.
Well, I mean, like harder enemies.
Even if you didn't,
even
if you had basic equipment, they're still not hard to beat if you know what you're doing. But I mean, that kind of goes for any enemy in any game. They could have done. I think they maybe put a little bit too many of them in the game. They should have been maybe made them a little bit more special, make them a little bit more cinematic. I'm not sure how they could have done it better, but
I personally wish there was more enemy variety in the game.
Oh, that too.
Because it's usually the same type of enemy. They just have like
a
different elemental theme.
The pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I don't know. The game has like a lot of like little issues, but I don't think it detracts from the fact that
we're putting it in S+. Like,
right,
come on.
Right. I have never had a video game experience like this. Not even close. Like this, the first time you find a dragon or like you go to Eventide Island, bro. There's so many good moments in this game just exploring. I've never felt this way in a game. And talking about Elden Ring, I know a lot of people that Elden Ring was this for them. I didn't feel the exact same way because I suck at Souls games. But Breath of the Wild is that's my baby Elden Ring right there, and I like that a lot. So I would put it below Wind Waker, I think, but I do think Wind Waker's a better game. But Breath of the Wild.
We could talk about Breath of the Wild all day, but this is kind of
either way. They're both S+. We need to end it up here, Caleb. Would you change anything with this ranking? I know like a couple things you'd personally put higher. But
besides what I already mentioned, not really.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, a lot of people are gonna look at this. Like, as we're going through it, we're explaining,
people are going to skip to the end and just be like, bro, what?
Like, if you look, like, if they just skip to the end and they just look at it right now, they're going to see, first of all, that's out of context.
Yeah.
That was just a joke. But the adventure of Link being right in the middle, people are not going to like that, especially if it's above Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Obviously, we explained it, but...
Yeah. People aren't going to like this one either. Right next to Minish Cap.
They're gonna be like, wait a minute.
I like how except for Twilight Princess, there's no 3D Zelda game not in S tier or higher. That
says a lot.
It says a lot to how great this damn series is. The sheer level of quality and consistency is insane. Like even these C tier games, they might not be the greatest ever. I still like them. In fact, yeah, I think that's what I'll change. Zelda 1's honestly a lot of fun to go back to for me. Caleb, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, not really. I kind of just wish I could play like some of the other like the DS Zelda games.
Yeah, it's hard. Cool. It's hard to get like the right ROM or whatever. There's like some application. I tried to do it.
The next time we meet up, we gotta play Triforce Heroes.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be doing that before, Caleb, because within a month I will have a capture card. And we will be streaming it. Spoiler alert for anybody that made it to the end of the video. That's your little tease. Probably within 2 months, I should say. Caleb, where can people follow you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter at Caleb_Baba99. There is no C-Dawg channel.
There will be a C-Dawg channel soon. It's coming. I've been helping him with like his artwork and his monetization stuff. The channel's been created. You can go sub to it if you find it. It's called C-Dawg VA actually. No.
Yeah, good luck finding that one.
Yeah, no. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at BoTalksMedia. Subscribe here for more Nintendo 3DS, Wii U, Switch, general Nintendo content, other gaming content, all the gaming content. Discord, link to that is in the description. Join that to tell us what we're wrong about our Zelda opinions. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.
See ya.